So I went into a rabbit hole. I watched some YouTube about Taylor guitars and guitar types and wood types and model lines, and it's a bit complicated, you know, when you look at it for the first time. And yeah, oddly, I never really looked into it in the past. So in this video, I like to briefly talk about what I think I kind of figured out, how the categories work. And you know, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comment, or if you have any tips about guitars. But what I'm looking for is really an electroacoustic. I can do some finger picking, some chords. You know, it's good if it's loud enough, but it has to be warm and not, you know, just too much bass, but also some well-balanced mids and highs. And yeah, I guess the bass at the lows. And it's tricky, right? I don't know which wood to choose. I think I know the shape. I want, you know, some shape in the front where I can also maybe play some solos. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, you know, which Taylor. Alright, body shape and playing styles. So let's see. I try to use AI to help me here because, oh my god. Alright, so we have Grand Theater. So I also saw online the parlor guitar. To my understanding, this is great for playing on the couch, on the porch, fingerstyle, probably some blues, I guess. Then there's the Grand Concert. What's that? It's also called the 12 series GC. No boomy bass, no boomy bass, controlled articulate, short sustain. Best for technical fingerstyle, studio recording, and sitting cleanly in advanced band mixes. And that's some I looked at. There's like this special edition from Ben Harper. I think that's a Grand Concert. I think Grand Concert would be well for my style, but I'm kind of in between the Grand Concert and the next one, which is called Grand Auditorium GA or 14 series. Alright, what does it say? Perfectly balanced lows, mids and highs. The signature modern Taylor sound. Best for the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Yeah, I kind of like that. Dynamic strumming, hybrid picking and singer-songwriters. So for me it's probably something between that, and then there's the next one is the Dreadnought, which, you know, my Seagull, also called Grand Pacific 1017 series. Sound, deep bass, warm low end power, round vintage voice. Ah, okay, I got it. And then heavy flat picking, bold acoustic strumming, bluegrass, and roots Americana. And that's not really my style, but I think the series number have to do, you know, with the Taylor numbering. I'm going to get into it in a sec. Okay, so we have Grand Theater, Grand Concert, Grand Auditorium, Dreadnought, and Grand Orchestra. And what's that? 18 series Jumbo. That sounds like a big one. That's probably not my type. I think that's the kind of Elvis Presley type guitar. Massive headroom, cinematic volume, rich harmonic overtones, heavy acoustic to accompany and dynamic solo performance. Yeah. So I guess for me it's probably between Grand Concert and Grand Auditorium. You know, I did some research, I listened to it online, some sounds, and based on what I kind of played, like the 914, the one I really liked in the store, but too expensive. So the 12 and 14 series. So now let's switch gears and decode the Taylor's 3 digits, right? So there's kind of these different numbers, 512, 914, and 912. So what does that all mean? So the first digit, series and tone woods. So we have 100, 200 series. What does it say? Layered backsides plus solid top. Entry workhorse, 300, 400 series. I think there I found some cool ones that I like. Solid Sapele Ash or Ovancol Rosewood Pro Utility. And then 500 to 800 plus series premium solid tone wood. That sounds nice. 500 is Mahogany. That sounds special. And then Ironbark 7, 800 are Indian Rosewood. And then the second digit is the top wood and string configuration. So this I remembered. So the number 1 is like this clear wood color, spruce or cedar on 6 string, standard softwood top. Number 2 is hardwood top, so it's mahogany or koa, kind of this Hawaiian wood on a 6-string. And then there's different ones for 12-string version where you have a 5 or 6. So the first digit is kind of, I guess how premium they are and the type of solid wood. The second digit is the top wood and string configuration, so 1 or 2, I guess, and 2 is more like the dark wood and 1 is more the light wood, and that affects your sound. So dark wood, I think it's a bit less loud, but it gives you this a bit warmer sound. And then there are some suffix letters, so for example 512 CE, so C cutaway, E onboard electronics. So I guess CE is for an electro-acoustic guitar. Alright, now let's move on to the editions. That's something that confused me. So there's Builder's Edition, Gold, what else? Next Generation. Yeah, the Next Generation, these are the new ones. So the Builder's Edition, Luxury, Pure Ergonomic Luxury and Player Comfort. So I think these are a bit more expensive and they add some special, carving in there and maybe some, some little features. It says beveled armrest, contoured cutaway, rolled body edges, curved wing bridge and the silent satin finish. So, that seems like luxury, probably not for me. Then we have the 50th Anniversary Gold Limited Edition. That's Collector Aesthetics celebrating Taylor's 1974 to 2024 milestone. Gold Gotos, gold acrylic dot bridge pins, commemorative internal label, rare tone wood. So these are the Gold Limited Edition. And then the Next Generation, I guess that's the thing with the ABC. Modern engineering and amplified tone overhaul. So they have scalloped V-class bracing for warmer low ends, new action control neck joint, and I think it's basically you can get in there and turn the screw and easily change the action depending on how you want to play, or if it's you change climates, it's getting dry or more wet and stuff like that. And then they have updated the electronics, so they use the Claria pickup, and it's the same, I think it's the 512 CE from Ben Harper Special Edition. He also uses the Claria pickup, but he's a gold edition. So I was kind of hesitating about, the Ben Harper 512 CE. It looks really awesome and sounds great, but it's a bit smaller concert. What is it again? Ooh. Grand Concert, yeah, it's a little bit shorter, I guess. The neck here is a bit shorter, 14 something. So I still prefer when it's long, when I can play solos. And yeah, I think the Next Generation, that's the one I'm probably looking at. So kind of I'm narrowing it down. I'm still looking at which number, I'm not sure yet. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes, in my search. If you have any Taylor guitar, please let me know in the comments which one you have, what type of wood. For example, is mahogany or very different to cedar? Can you really hear it? And is it worth it? Because I'm kind of inclined to go with mahogany. So I think the 424, yeah, that was one that looked great. I'm a bit confused with all these numbers, but yeah, let me know what you got or what you recommend. I guess I like play things like Jack Johnson, Ben Harper, Smashing Pumpkins. These are the type of music, Red Hot Chili Peppers, maybe, that I want to play on the guitar and then expand my repertoire. Thanks for tuning in. If you like the content, please like it, subscribe it if you want to see more of that stuff. Really appreciated you tuning in. See you later.